Austin with Full Line Ag here, and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be showing you how to start and run a Fendt Ideal Combine, and I will show you a little bit in the cab and kind of some of the functions and features. But first off, how to get this combine started. We're going to come to the back and we're going to flip that battery disconnect on. So then when we get in the cab, the first thing we're going to do is take our key, and it is not right here on the column. The key is actually on the back. We're going to let the monitors just kind of boot up a little bit, and then fire it right up. So here is your look when you're sitting in the Fendt Combine. We have a steering wheel here, we have our hydro handle here, and then we have two screens. So this is our main terminal. We can see our machine settings, we can adjust our machine settings, as well as we can see our map and also adjust our auto steer functions. This terminal or little screen is actually probably one of the most handy screens that I look at all the time. This shows our ground speed at the top, our RPMs, our fuel and def levels, our rotor and sieve loss, as well as how many bushels we have in that hopper. This cab is actually the exact same cab that is on the new Gleaner combines, and it is also a very similar cab to what is in the Rogator sprayers. This hydro handle is almost identical to the one that is in the Rogator sprayers. It is the same one that is in the Gleaner combines, and it is similar to the handle that is in those Fendt tractors. This hydro handle is a return to zero. You'll see in a minute kind of what that is all about. Looking at the side, it is not as overwhelming as one would think. The first thing we can see, this is our parking brake. This is our rear wheel assist. This is our Thrasher engage, our header engage. We have our RPMs right here. On the side, we have our hopper open and close. We have what are called streamer gates, so adjusting the flow of how much product is coming out of our auger. This is for our active tailboard. Then we have our bottom sieve adjustments, our top sieve adjustments, our fan adjustments, our concave adjustments are right here, and our rotor adjustments are up here. We have two auxiliary buttons where you can program, say if you want even more lights and a light bar or kind of whatever else you're thinking. Here are your two gears. You have your turtle as well as your rabbit. There is no gear shift on the side or parking brake on the side, how the Massey Ferguson combines have. And then we have our differential locks, our transmission in neutral, and our road mode. So that is the main features on this armrest. We also have where we adjust our mirrors from right there. So now how to get this combine actually moving after we've kind of learnt all these controls. First thing we're going to want to do is turn off our parking brake, which we can see is red there. That is simply by taking this parking brake switch and pushing it forward. We see it is no longer illuminated red on the terminal. And now that has taken off our parking brake. We're gonna throttle up now since we let it warm up. And on this hydro handle now, there's a little trigger on the back side, and that trigger is allowing us essentially just to be, we're good to go. It's a kind of a safety trigger. So there's two ways I really tell people how to drive this combine when they first get in it. And the first way is I say, push that hydro handle forward and push that trigger. We push it once and we're at a little bit of a crawl. If we push it again, it'll allow us to speed up as much as we want as far as we push that hydro handle forward. This hydro handle, since it is a return to zero, it is holding us at that about 2.5-ish mark, and we don't have to touch it and it will keep moving. When we want to slow down, you do not touch that trigger, you just pull back on that hydro handle. The second way to drive it, I tell people, is as you're pushing the hydro handle forward, you click that trigger, and there we are in gear and able to keep accelerating as far and fast as we push that hydro handle. I always say, whenever you want to come to a stop, you never push that trigger, you just pull back on that hydro handle. If you click on that trigger and pull back, it will actually put you into reverse. So that is something to watch for. It is actually very simple. Once you kind of get the hang of it, you drive it for 10 minutes and you're pretty much good to go. My absolute favorite part about this hydro handle is how smooth it is. When you're driving this combine, it is a very, very smooth hydro. It feels honestly very similar to a CVT in how smooth it is. It has the same kind of functions as the return to zero as the CVT, and everyone who has gotten in it, that is the first thing they say is this combine, it is so very smooth to drive. I'm just doing a little lap around our tractors here, and when I want to come to a stop, I'll just pull back on that hydro handle and come to a stop. When I want to back up, we can do it the same as pushing and holding that button and pulling back on that hydro handle, and we can see the backup camera has turned on. It's hard to hear, but there is actually a beeping going on. And when we want to come to a stop, we just push that hydro handle forward without pushing that, and we come into sort of our neutral state. So now we will talk about the ergonomically placed buttons on our hydro handle. Our first one is this scroll wheel. By flinging that scroll wheel out, our auger will swing out. To engage that auger, we push this scroll wheel in and hold it for half a second. A chime will come on in the cab, and you'll be able to see this little combine lighting up, showing that product is coming out of that auger. To stop it, we depress this again, and for about a half a second, and then that auger will stop. We scroll that wheel inwards, and that auger will come in. Now, these three buttons here, our first one is our auto header height control. We will click it once to engage our auto header height, and then we can click it again to bring it to a second cutting height, and we double click and it will bring us up to our headland management height. This is our auto steer engage button. We click that when we're by that line and it will catch us on. This is a headland management control button. Now, in these ergonomically placed buttons here, we have our header up, our header down, we have our lateral tilt to the left, lateral tilt to the right. We have our reel up, our reel down, our reel forward, and our reel backwards. It is a very nice position that these buttons are placed in. You don't have to be reaching all the way up to the top. It fits very nicely in your hand and helps prevent any little bit of user fatigue you could get. This stop button is essentially a panic mode stop button. You click that and your header will completely shut off. Another function on this hydro handle here is the auto function. So there are two cruise controls which can be seen on the back of this joystick of this hydro handle that can be controlled from in the terminal, and to engage those you have to pull the handle to the right and hold it. It will light up and then turn green, and then you'll be on your cruise control. You also have your auto harvesting functions, and those will be engaged by clicking right and holding on that hydro handle until it lights up. Once that is lit up, you don't have to worry. It just will start running your combine how it is and how it should be, and you don't really have to worry about moving that hydro handle back and forth. You can adjust your two cruise controls in the terminal as well as on the side of this console here. You can also adjust your header height on this side console, your auto header height to turn it on, and your reel speeds, and then your auto lateral tilt. There are more functions and buttons on this little keypad here, but I will dive into that in another video. Now, since we have kind of the controls understood in this combine, I will show you how to turn on the Thrasher as well as the header. So in here, to turn on our Thrasher, it is this right here, this switch, and what we're going to do is be at a stop, have our RPMs all the way down, and then grab this lever and push it forward. This lever will stay pushed forward, and you will be able to hear the combine firing up. Having the RPMs all the way down and being at a stop, this will just be the easiest on your machine and not wear out your machine as fast when you have your RPMs revved up a little bit or you're still moving. It can just be a little bit harder on your machine. Just like as any combine, it's always easiest when the RPMs are all the way down and you're in the stop position. To engage our header, I will not do it because we do not have a header on it, but we just grab this switch and we flick it forward and hold it, and it will stay forward just like the separator switch. To turn off our header or our separator, just simply touch that switch and it will come back. And then to turn off the machine, we're going to flip that parking brake. We touch it and we can see it turned red there. And then we grab the key, flip that key to the off position, pull it out, everything shuts down, and then we have a little light right there that lights up, as well as two lights on the step and the side light on the combine. That way when you're getting out at night, you have a nice visibility and you can see, you're not stumbling around in the dark. And after, I believe, 5 minutes, those lights will shut off and you just go back to that battery disconnect, turn it, and that's pretty much all there is to it. So that's pretty much all there is to know about these Fendt combines and driving them. They're actually a very simple combine. They're very, very nice to use, very user-friendly. This hydro handle is a dream. I love this. I wish it was in every combine. The buttons are all very easy to understand. They're very straightforward. We have orange as our engine transmission, our green as our thrashing adjustments, and then these two yellow ones are pretty much just turning on your Thrasher as well as your header. Every demo that I've been on, guys get into it and they say this is actually very simple and very straightforward, which is a very nice thing to hear. The Combine, this cab, is a dream. In one of the next videos, I can go and show you all the bells and whistles in this cab, show you kind of all the nitty-gritty details of it. But that is pretty much it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button and that subscribe button. It would really help us out. As well as leave a comment on what you want to see in the next video. I can open up the side panels, I can open up the panels going into the sieves there. I can really show you anything you guys want to see, so let me know in the comments down below. But that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.